Hi, my name is Waliu Adegoke, all the way from Nigeria, and I'll be discussing with us dangerous goods management, the classes and the divisions of dangerous goods. Remember, this is Safety Moment with Aliola, where we discuss a lot of safety related topics, safety related issues. Using this opportunity to say a big shout out to everyone who has taken their time to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to watch our videos, and to follow us on Instagram. Really appreciate you guys. And to those who are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, kindly take a few seconds, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the notification button so that you will always be alerted whenever we post a new video. Remember, it's all about safety. Safety first, safety always. Join me as we go into the discussion. There are various classifications of dangerous goods. Understanding each of these classifications will enable us in handling them locally, even at home, in the organization, and in nature at large. We need to understand these labels for us to be able to know how to handle them differently. Remember, dangerous goods are those substances which, when transported, are risk to health, safety, properties, or the environment due to their nature, due to their hazardous nature, obviously. Like I said, there are various categories. We have 9 of them. As you can see, if you look at the right hand side, each label identifies each of the categories. If you look straight, you will see that we have the explosives, we have the gases, we have the flammable liquids, we have the flammable solids, we have the oxidizers and organic parasites, we have the poison, we have the infectious substances, and we have radioactive materials, corrosives, and finally, we have miscellaneous. Let's go to the first one, which is the explosive. These are substances, items that could detonate, from the word explosive, explode, as a result of a disturbance, a reaction, turbulence, or exposure to other hazards or other substances such as heat, fire, etc. They are bound to explode. If you remember the Beirut accident, the Beirut explosion that happened, the ammonium nitrate is an example of an explosive, and it's also an oxidizer. You understand why it's also an oxidizer later in the discussion. But this is the first category, which are the explosives. Example are the ammunitions that we use, the fireworks, the blasting charges, and detonators. The blasting charges are what they use majorly in the limestone in the mining industry. So these are examples of explosives, and transporting them requires that we know how to handle them separately. Gases, obviously, they are always under pressure. They are pressurized inside some sort of containers due to its compressibility characteristics. Science students, we always know that, and I think it's basic knowledge. There are various types of gases. We have the flammable gases, obviously bring out flames. We have the toxic gases that are toxic to nature. And we have the non-flammable gases, but due to the fact that they are under pressure, they can also explode and cause a lot of damage to the environment. These are the sub-classification of gases. Example are argon, butane, CO2, cyanide. You can even have compressed oxygen as an example of gases that can be transported and will cause various damage. Flammable liquids. This class gives off ignitable flammable vapors when exposed to relatively low temperature based on their exposure range. Now, this is how it works. Most substances will always have a temperature in which they can bring out flames. But when a particular substance brings out flame at a very low temperature, it means it's highly flammable. And remember, it is the vapor that brings out the flame and not the liquid. So when you're talking about flammable liquid, the rate at which it turns to vapor, and at which the vapor at the end of the day gets exposed to low temperature, and at the end of the day give out flames, it's called flammable liquids. And the flash point of flammable liquids is as low as 23 degrees Celsius. Flash point, when you're talking about flash point, this is the lowest temperature at which the vapor will ignite when exposed to a source of ignition. Remember, maybe later in our discussion or in other discussions, we'll talk about upper and lower exposure limit. 4. are flammable solids. This releases flammable gases. Like I said, it's the gas, the vapor that forms the flames. This releases flammable gases and can spontaneously combust when it's contact with the source of ignition, including water. It can be phosphorus can react with water and it will bring out flames. As simple as easy as that. It's a kind of exothermic reaction. Science students should know this. So, examples are matches, phosphorus, sodium, calcium carbide. If we go back to our classification, we will see that the first one talks about explosives. The second one makes us to understand that it deals with gases. That's class 2. Class 3 deals with flammable liquids, while class 4 deals with flammable solids. And now we are moving out of solid, liquid, and gas, and we are going to oxidizing agents, oxidizing substances, organic peroxides, H2O2, that's organic peroxide. Oxidizing agent contributes to combustion as it releases oxygen. It releases oxygen. We have a fire triangle. If you remember, one of those things that could aid fire, that starts fire, is the oxygen. So when we have oxygen in the environment, excess oxygen, enough flames, definitely we will have more danger, hazard going to occur, because at the end of the day, it will assist in combustion, assist in bringing out flame, and assist in making it to burn at a faster rate. Fertilizers, bleaching powders, air disinfectant, and ammonium nitrate. Like I said, I mentioned ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate is also an oxidizing agent. It brings out a lot of oxygen when it reacts. Number 6, toxic and infectious substances. Toxic substances come in solid and liquid forms, which are liable to cause death or serious injuries to human health if you inhale them, you swallow them, or it gets in contact with your skin. They are toxic, they destroy the skin tissues and cause a lot of damage to the internal organs. Example is potassium cyanide. Another example is mercuric chloride. We have the biohazard substances. From the word biohazard, it has to do with hazardous substances that have life in them, and we are actually talking about viruses, HIV, rabies, coronavirus. All these substances, when they are being packaged and being transported, they are highly dangerous, and we need to understand the labels that they come with so that we'll be able to know how to handle them. These are mostly applicable in the laboratory where they do a lot of tests. Understanding these signages, these signs, these labels will be able to make you to know that yes, this particular sample contains this kind of substance. The next one is radioactive materials. Remember, radioactive materials, you can see them you can detect them with human sense. They continuously emit certain types of radiation that are harmful to health. This kind of radiation causes serious damage to the human body. Example is uranium and the plutonium. We have those examples. But knowing this label, you can even, apart from the use of dangerous goods, you can be in a vicinity where they are using these radioactive materials, and they would signify with just the label for you to know that yes, this kind of energy is being released in this vicinity, so that you take yourself out of there. Another classification, which are class 8, is the corrosive. The corrosives. These are solids or liquid that dissolve organic tissues, they damage the skin tissues, or severely corrode certain materials. They cause serious damage to the internal tissues, internal organs, skin tissues. They corrode the cells and also cause serious damage to certain metals when they come in contact with some metals. They eat up the metals and make the metals to corrode easily and faster, which make them very dangerous to the environment. And we need to know how to handle such materials. Examples are mercury, battery acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. Almost all forms of concentrated acids are highly corrosive. I don't want to go into understanding how you can identify them. Basically, when you see H at the positive hydrogen ion in the chemical reaction, it tells you that yes, this is a corrosive substance that you need to know how to handle. Example, sodium hydroxide, that is base, alkaline, potassium hydroxide. So that is the hydroxide, the negative ion of the hydroxide. Science students will understand this better. But basically, when you see this label, you know that this kind of chemical is actually very dangerous and could cause serious damage to the environment, to humans, to properties, and to health. Miscellaneous, every other category that doesn't fall into any of these 1 to 8 categories that we mentioned from the beginning, you can go back to revise them, falls under this category miscellaneous. As you can see the label, example, dry ice, chainsaws, asbestos, airbag, inflator, lithium, ion battery, magnetized materials. And that is all for now about dangerous goods classification and their divisions. Thank you for taking your time to listen. Remember, this 50 minutes with Aliola. Take your time, take few seconds to subscribe and share this video for every other person to learn. Thank you and God bless you. Bye. See you next time.